Radio. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Rad One Radio. And today with me, I have Tricia Cast, who everybody knows as Nina Webster from The Young and the Restless. She's an Emmy Award-winning actress and was successfully able to transition from child star into having a successful career as an adult. Hey, Tricia, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you. How are you?
Great. It's good to hear you. So how have you been in the past year? Was that the last time we saw you in Y&R?
Yeah, I guess about a year or maybe a little bit more. It's been great. I live with my husband in Tennessee. I have been commuting for the last 10 years from there. So it's been beautiful. We've got our house in the hills and the trees here and our dogs, and we're a half a pair.
Oh, that's great. Now, I want to give you my condolences for the loss of Jean. I'm sure it was very tough with the year anniversary recently.
Yes.
Patty did an amazing job with your makeup in the memorial episode, and that red dress looked awesome on you.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, Patty is a genius.
Yes.
I love the way she does my makeup. It was a tough day, but it was also communal and healing, and I'm so glad that we had that opportunity.
I cried.
Everyone did, yeah.
So now I wanted to talk to you about The Bad News Bears, which was a mid-season replacement series, and
yes.
And you were pretty young, like 12 or something?
Yes, I was 12. I was actually 11, yeah. I think I turned 12 on the set. Oh, actually, I turned 12 and a half on the set because I had a quarter century birthday party with my friends because I started work down in the community theater in Mission Viejo, Saddleback College, and I had this crazy teacher there who I had done several plays with, and he decided that it was important to do a quarter century birthday party. So I was 12 and a half. I turned 12 and a half on the set. So, and then he came up and with all my theater friends and threw a big party. It was fun.
It's actually an eighth of a century.
That's what I meant.
Did you want to get into acting, or were you one of those kids whose parents kind of pushed you into it?
No, it was me. I had gone to summer school, I think it was between, second and third or first and second grade. And they did a play. And they did You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown. And I was instantly comfortable. I was kind of, weird kid. Mm-hmm. So not a whole lot of friends. I was one of 7 children. I was number 6 of 7 children. So I don't know if it was, the attention that made me feel better, or if it was an outlet because I was such a kind of a strange, serious kid.
Loner.
Yeah, but not really by choice. I didn't quite fit anywhere. It was a bit of a misfit. So all of a sudden there was this group of people that sort of got me. And, they were, they were little actors too, and they appreciated what I did, and I appreciated what they did, and it worked for me. So, I was super young. And my dad happened to be taking theater because he was an aerospace engineer, and he had to present his ideas to people, large groups of people, and he had stage fright. He couldn't do it. So he took a speech class, and then his speech teacher said it would really help you take a theater class. You could come out of your shell and take chances and, feel goofy for a while. It's okay. And so he did that, and then he, did summer stock for a couple of years, and one year they did Cat in the Hot Tin Roof, and me and my 6 brothers and sisters went and played the No-Neck Monsters.
Oh, wow.
That was sort of the entree into it.
That's amazing because it's so important, I think, to have a parent who understands your interests and ambitions and supports that. So that's really cool that happened. Yeah,
the other 5 or 6 kids were not even impressed at all. They would get me out of here, and apparently they couldn't get me off the stage. They had to shuffle me off when my lines were done. So so then he totally understood and helped, and he brought me to all my auditions, and coached me on line readings and things like that. And so, yeah, no, I was very well supported.
That's amazing. It's funny how you said your siblings were not impressed.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, either they like it or they don't, or they, they're very supportive, and they tell me all the time that, that they think that I, have something, but not enough to want to do it themselves. They didn't have any desire.
Did your father end up acting professionally? Because you said he and Kristoff St. John's father were good friends, right?
Yeah, they were very good friends. He acted professionally. He was at the dinner theaters, and he was a character actor, and he sang and danced, and didn't do either one very well, but he was very funny. So he entertained for sure. So yeah, he spent years and years at the Curtain Call Dinner Theater down in Orange County there, and he was a staple there.
It's amazing to be able to do aerospace engineering and acting. It's very rare that somebody could be so left and right brained at the same time. You must be brilliant.
Well, to be an engineer, I think you need to be kind of creative. So
it's true.
But there is also a very science and math oriented part of that. So yeah, no, he had both and did both very well.
Did he act as your manager or kind of guide you as you got into the show business?
Yeah, not really manager. Sort of. He found me my agent. He drove me to all my auditions. And that was it. He was sort of like a stage mom. You know what I mean? He was a stage dad.
Not like Brooke Shields' mother who forced her to do things.
No, the opposite. He was very, very protective. It's a tricky business. But fortunately, I entered the professional end of it very early and didn't have to go through. I had a very serious agent who wouldn't have let me, do something that would be destructive.
Great that your dad did that.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah. And, especially I was, we were in Orange County. Los Angeles was, 2 hours away. I wasn't going to get to any auditions without my dad's car.
Oh, yeah.
Some people understand it, and some people just don't.
Right.
And we all adjust. I mean, it's the same thing, it's just someone wanted to be a, violin player and then couldn't stand the noise, so they weren't allowed to. You know what I mean? It's all very tricky, and when you are so young and know what you want to do, a lot of people don't believe you.
So then the Bad News Bears lasted for 13 episodes, I think?
Yeah, I think we shot 13 episodes.
And you actually co-starred with Kristoff St. John, which is...
Yes.
And I remember the last time when I talked with you last year, I found some on YouTube and I tweeted some of them out. And the only one that wasn't there was the one that was mostly about Kristoff's character, which was kind of funny because he asked me to find it. But, yeah, I remember that one too. Did you and he stay in touch between the time you worked on the Bad News Bears and when you co-starred on Y&R?
Sort of. I mean, we didn't hang out, but we were, always, if our dads got together or something like that, we'd, say hi or something. But, not close buds, because we were both working. He was working, I was working, and but certainly, how you separate from people, but they're still in your heart, kind of thing. It's always a friend, always on my mind and in my heart.
So it wasn't like a big shock.
It was a big shock.
Oh,
it was like, what the? Oh yeah, no, I didn't even know that he was on the show until he was on stage. So, yeah, it was a shock. It's like, what are you doing here? Oh, my God.
So now then you did another short-lived series, which I loved. I was very young, but It's Your Move, co-starring Jason Bateman. I loved that show. I don't think my parents wanted me to watch it, but you were the sister who was kind of rational, and he was like this brilliant kid who was just always tricking the system and outsmarting people and pranking people. And
yeah, it was a really cool concept. It was about a young man, a boy, but coming into, the latter stages of teenagers. And his mom, who he was very protective of, starts dating the guy across the hall, who's a writer, and a real bright guy, but the boy thinks that he's not good enough for his mom. So basically the entire series is that he's a foil. And it was a nice little relationship between the boy and the neighbor, and I thought they did a really good job. And your parents didn't want you to watch it because it was a bit cutting edge.
Right.
The boy got into some deals that certain parents of a certain section of a certain part of the country thought weren't right.
They thought it would set a bad example, because I did actually think it was cool and want to be like him. So
yeah, sure, absolutely, yeah.
And I must have been like 7 or something. I forget how old I was, but I was so upset when it got canceled. Now that only lasted for half a season too, didn't it? We shot 18 after that. Did they air all of them?
I think eventually they did. The last 2 was a 2-parter. They showed the first part on its regular time, and then the second part, I don't know what the heck happened.
I remember that. I was so upset.
I think they showed it maybe 2 or 3 weeks later. They punked it. What they did was in response to all the letters they were getting from like a kind of conservative sort of base there. They tried to change it. They made him, they caught him. The neighbor catches him and tells him, his mother catches him, and so now he's got to be this boy. The character's gone. You killed him.
Consequences to show kids that this was not how you should behave, and then they lost their audience. Probably, I totally
exactly. That's exactly. Well, they lost the concept. The whole series premise was gone.
Right.
So that didn't last much longer.
I remember the dregs of humanity, Sweaty Betty, right?
Yep.
With the marionettes or something wearing the black robes and the pre-recorded boombox.
That's right. They I think either one of the boys there, it was a kid and his friend, and someone had promised a band that they couldn't deliver. They stole the skeletons out of the science room and put them in, dressed up in robes and did a light show. And so they played it off. And yeah, exactly, a pre-recorded tape. And they played it off as a band, and everyone was very impressed. It was a good show.
Oh yeah.
It was really well done. The writers were Michael Moore and Ron Lovett, who has passed. And but Michael Silver, he doesn't write anymore. So if he ever hears this, I want to say to him, good job, man. I think we're Married with Children.
I remember with Married with Children, there was like a right-wing boycott of the main sponsors, but I think the audience who watched the show way outnumbered them or something.
Yeah, they had not a whole lot to lose.
Right.
The Fox had it was burgeoning, and they were looking for a market. So it was like it was a gamble that they were willing to take, and it paid off.
Oh yeah, and then the conservatives found something else to boycott.
Yeah.
Your character, the sister, and you were kind of the voice of reason on the show, right?
Actually, I wasn't the voice of reason. Okay. I was kind of the dummy.
Oh, okay. I can't remember. I knew that you weren't like him, though.
Yeah, no, it wasn't like him. She was more like, she was a popular girl. She was a cheerleader. She was kind of an airhead. She was very easily duped by her brother.
Right.
And tried all the time. She saw him for what he was.
Right, that's what I meant.
But was never smart enough to be able to catch him in the act and let her mother see it.
Right.
So she was always trying to get him in trouble, but it always backfired. She was always the one who was getting in trouble. But she was, she was not a very smart girl, right, or a very nice girl, quite frankly. So,
right. She was like the conformist. I knew that she was always the one who was trying to get him in trouble,
but certainly not for any altruistic reason. You know what I mean?
Right. But on the surface, she was like the kid that was, conformist. It kind of made some good social statements, I think.
did. I thought it did too. Yeah, it was. Well, I was 18 years old. I was happy to be to working with professionals and such good writing. So it was all kind of fabulous as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. Now it's amazing. Jason Bateman, he kind of took a hiatus from acting for a while. Then he all of a sudden had it's on the tip of my tongue.
Arrested Development.
Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden he's got this booming movie career. It's amazing.
I know.
Yeah.
He's so good at what he does. Mm-hmm. So not surprised whatsoever. He did take a hiatus. I don't know why that was or how that happened, but God bless.
No, it was very impressive. I was really impressed that somebody could take that much time off and then be so successful again. Now, you, on the other hand, were able to transition to go The Young and the Restless and basically become an adult and on the show and win an Emmy. And I heard a quote from somewhere that you were the Jodie Foster of daytime, and I think it had a double meaning. It was a tribute to your talent as an actress and the fact that you didn't have the screwed up in the head problems like many of the child stars in Hollywood did, and you were able to transition from child to adult and still be a successful actress. Now, was that because of your family?
I'm still screwed up in the head. I just don't play it.
Well, everybody's got their issues, trust me. Yeah, but
no, I didn't make any really bad mistakes.
Right, no tabloids or anything. Yeah,
no, right. I think it was parenting for sure. I think it was personality. I don't do drugs. I mean, I do drugs, but I don't abuse them.
Right. Everybody. Yeah.
I don't have that gene where I take things that make my judgment terribly impaired. I had a good upbringing, a solid thing, so that my humility was intact all through growing up. I went to school and didn't quit. And I graduated high school, so I kind of quit it. But I didn't take the emancipation route or anything like that.
Really? Did you actually go to class while you were still working, or did you?
Well, there was school on set.
Oh, right. Okay. Yeah.
And of course I had to go when I was a child, but as soon as I became to the age where they would have let me quit. And I don't know. I don't know if it's personality or nurture nature or what, but
both.
I did. I dodged the bullet because a lot of people didn't.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And with just a few bad mistakes, I could have been in the same boat. If someone had been rolling tape at some point, I'd probably be in the grave. I do think though that sometimes it's the fault of the people surrounding them. Whether it's a parent or friends or managers, or someone's got to be taking these kids by the wrist and telling them who they are and where they fit in society and the bigger picture, and that not everything they do is fabulous.
Right. Now, did you know other young actors like Dana Plato? Is such a tragic. I cried when I heard her story.
It was so tragic. Yeah. She was such a nice girl. I liked her. She was working in the same lot that we were for It's Your Move, and I liked her. And I can't believe it went so wrong. It's that drugs thing. It's maybe I didn't have a good enough reason to delve into them, but boy, once you get that bug, that's a tough one to shake.
I know. And then she had just turned her life around and started to build up a career again, and then all of a sudden just had a relapse. I'm so glad you didn't fall into that. I find that people who've been in the business since they were young and had a good upbringing are so down to earth. Like you just are a cool, normal person. You're not like some people that I've talked to. Most are really cool and down to earth, but there's been a couple who just get that sense that even though they're polite, they just have a little thing that they think they're a little better than other people, and you don't have that at all.
Well, thank you. And I hope that that's true. I certainly don't feel better than other people.
It is true. I
see that the world is made up of all kinds of people, and I'd say a good majority of them do a lot more for a lot more people than I do. So I'm always striving to be better, to be a better person, to be a better friend, to be a better wife, and I'm not terribly social, so I can't say I'm gonna start becoming civically active, but I care at least. I care deeply about what's going on in the news, and I applaud those people. And the heroes to me and the stars to me are the people who actually go out on a limb and risk their life and fortune to help humanity, one individual. You see the guy in the Congressional, it was the Medal of Honor, presidential, yesterday, in the story that they told about him, saving his friends and in Afghanistan. So it's just like that's important. Deserves applause.
You playing Nina for so many years, I think, was important because your character connected with so many people. I think a lot of young women, and I believe that you helped people. So if you think about it that way.
Yes. I mean, I do. I mean, I don't have a low self-esteem. I think I just have I think I have a realistic opinion of myself. I've been super, super lucky, and not only to actually goof around and get paid for it, but and I should say I don't just goof around. I'm very serious about it. It's work, and I take it seriously, and it takes time and effort. But it's better than digging ditches. So I feel lucky, and then also lucky to have been able to get such good roles. Nina's fabulous.
Yeah.
Nina was one of the best roles on the show, and I've always felt terribly lucky to have it.
Well, yeah, the character development was just so great and just natural progression, and she was sort of atypical of most soap characters. Y&R has always been good at they really get into the depth and the progression of the characters, and you did an amazing job at it. I mean, I watched some old episodes. I think I told you this before with the trial of David Kimball, and I was like, wow. And then when you got the Emmy nomination with the story with Ronan, I was so glad when you came back too.
Yeah, me too. I was hungry for it and was ready for it, and it's all. It was a little bit of kismet, and it was a really cool return.
Now, when Laura Lee left the show, she wanted to come back sort of, but not full time. So she talked to, at the time, her sister-in-law was the executive producer. And she said, I don't want to just come back for, funerals or parties or weddings. She said, if you can give me a storyline that's, a couple months or whatever, and then I can do that and then leave. And, that would probably be better for you because then you wouldn't have to travel all the time if they were to do that for you.
Yeah, that'd be fabulous. If I could do that, that would be great. And quite frankly, even if they, had me working 3 days a week, that would be okay with me too.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's all good.
You don't mind flying then, obviously.
I'm a great traveler.
Okay.
I had my good friend there, Jean, putting me up, so I didn't have to stay in hotels, and it was, it was fine. It was really quite wonderful, really. My husband is a singer-songwriter, so he was able to turn up his amp and see what he does while I was gone. So it worked out. We miss each other terribly when we're not together, but for work we'll do it. For our art we'll do it.
That's great. Now you and Laura Lee are really close too. She said you stayed with her a lot when you would.
Yeah, she was kind enough to pick up the slack that was left when Ginny passed, and I was sort of homeless. I was like, I could get in a hotel, that's fine. But Lily stepped up, and I stayed at her house, all the time when I was there. So, and her family's beautiful and generous, and I really appreciate every one of them. Her nuclear family and her family, her mom and brothers, and they're all pretty fabulous people.
I was really amazed when I was able to chat with her. She was just like so cool. I wasn't sure what to expect. And now you and she being good friends in real life, I think that helped make the dynamic of the characters on the show more believable and natural too.
We're really comfortable working with each other, and I think that we were a good. I credit that to Bill and Ed, knowing that we were a good match. Sort of opposites, but sort of kindred. It was a really nice casting job.
Well, maybe Nina could show up on The Bold and the Beautiful here and there or something. That would be interesting, putting her in that mix.
Oh, yeah, that'd be fun. Mm-hmm. Right? Because characters have crossed over.
Yeah. I hope they do bring you back, at least for recurring or something, because I know a lot of people miss you. But are you looking to act otherwise? Do you do any theater, or do you want to go back to television, or are you happy just chilling out?
Yeah, it's like I'd like to, but I'm not so ambitious that it gets done. You know what I mean? I could move back out there. I think that's the only way I would get another job on television, is to actually get out there and audition and meet, casting directors and apply myself. But I really like it here, and there's enough for me to do. There's theater out here. I haven't done any plays, but I have my eyes open for something that I want to do, and when it comes along, I'll fight for it. But at the same time, I'm really, really, I've got all kinds of creative outlets, and just keeping this house clean. I'm open, and I'm not terribly hungry. I'm not terribly ambitious about it.
Your life doesn't feel incomplete without it. Well, I can imagine being on camera since you were so young, that it would be a nice change, and I can totally get that. But a creative person always needs creative outlets, like you said.
Yeah. Well, I'm a quilter.
Do you talk to Beth Maitland about that? Because she's super into quilting.
Yeah, we actually tweeted pictures back and forth. You should look them up. She's fabulous. She works on a long arm, the machine that is huge, and you run the quilt through it. So it's like a sewing machine, but it's free form, and so she's really, really good at it. You should see her stuff. Yeah, and I'm more of a small scale hand quilter. Creative people will find something to do, whether it's broadcast or just sitting on your computer. It's something that we have to do, and we do it. And I also am kind of a computer geek.
Me too. Mac or Windows?
Mac and Mac.
Oh, of course.
So I play with Photoshop a lot. I don't take pictures, but I play around with it a lot, and I've gotten into making websites for my friends, building, my friend needed something, and she goes, I know you know about this. And I said, yeah, I do, because I do my husband's website. So I did one for her, and now I'm doing one for another friend. So it's something that, it's creative, it's putting, a piece of art on, some sort of, medium. It's not limited.
You have a concept, and you have creative ideas, and then you can see it actually take shape and come to fruition. I love that feeling.
Exactly. It's for its own sake most of the time.
Exactly. Yeah. I mean, I ask myself, how many years have I been writing and recording music, and how many years have I come close to a record deal and it hasn't happened, and why do I still do it? And I said, because I have to.
Exactly. And you wouldn't if you didn't. Exactly. So you'd go on to something else that you felt was giving you the nourishment that you need.
Well, I have diversified a bit, but it's been great talking to you, and I hope that you continue to enjoy everything, and say hello to Bat for me.
I will. Thanks so much for mentioning me. He's my best friend and a great husband.
Yeah, well, I think it's a sign of a very strong relationship when you can go work a few days a week and he can do his thing and you can come back and not be, jealous or whatever. And that's very cool. You're lucky.
Yeah, we're solid.
And I've talked to both of you together and you can just tell how much you love each other. So
yeah, we do. Mm-hmm. We're thankful every day.
Well, I hope to see you back on TV, and maybe I'll tweet Angelica today just to remind her.
That sounds great.
So, all right, Tricia. Well, everybody can follow you on Twitter at Tricia Cast, and tweet at Angelica McD, and say you'd like to see Nina back out here on my hour, and I will hopefully talk to you soon. And you have a great day.
Thank you so much, Rob, and keep being creative and keep what you're doing too. You do a great job.
Oh, thank you. I'll never stop.
Thank you so much.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye.
This is Rad One Radio.